morning, everyone. This is your weather briefing for day one of the Verve Cup Offshore Regatta here at the Chicago Yacht Club. I'm meteorologist Chris Bedford. Just want to remind everyone to make sure you're keeping up to date on the latest weather information in case anything changes. Right now, we're not looking for anything undue on the lake, but conditions can change, and you know the lake's pretty volatile, so make sure you're staying up to date with the latest official forecasts and warnings. Quick check of the severe weather outlooks for today. We have a light green area indicating the region of general thunderstorms, and then areas of potential severe weather are indicated on this chart. You can see around Chicago that there really isn't anything of significance. We may have some thunderstorms moving into the northwestern part of Illinois and southern Wisconsin, but right now it looks like at best maybe some showers in this area here. For tomorrow, that area of general thunderstorms expands a little bit and moves to across Lake Michigan. Severe weather gets close to Chicago potentially, but staying to the south and west. For Sunday, we do have a marginal risk of some severe weather, and so we'll need to be keeping an eye on that. Right now, I'm not expecting severe weather, but conditions are getting a little bit better for something to develop, so we want to keep on top of the latest forecast as we move towards Sunday. All right, let's take a look at the problem at hand. For today, we've got a high pressure ridge which runs across the Great Lakes area, across lower Michigan into Indiana and Illinois, and that's moving out to the east and gradually weakening. Closer to home here, we've got this complex low pressure area over the northern plains, and that's gradually moving toward the east. It's not really strengthening very much. In fact, it may weaken a little bit as it crosses into Lake Michigan and into Michigan, lower Michigan tomorrow, but it is producing some weather. We've got some clouds and showers and a few embedded thunderstorms up to the north across eastern Minnesota and west and northwestern Wisconsin, even some showers down into southern Wisconsin this morning. If we look at the radar, we can see that activity moving across Wisconsin and the thunderstorms that are basically up in the upper Mississippi River Valley region. And going to this afternoon, we see that area as a forecast to move across Wisconsin and into the northern sort of two-thirds of Lake Michigan. There will be an extension of some showers developing down to the southwest this afternoon, down across northwestern Illinois. And although most models are predicting this area to kind of dry up as it moves closer to Chicago, we will need to keep an eye on it because there is some indication that there could be enough activity holding together across northwest Wisconsin, Illinois and northern Illinois and across into Chicago, sort of mid-afternoon time frame. This next slide shows the forecast of what the radar is expected to look like. Here we are between 12 and 1 o'clock. You can see that extension of showers and maybe an embedded thunderstorm moving across the Illinois-Wisconsin border and into northwestern Illinois. So this is the area here that may be developing. If we go ahead just 2 hours, we see that a lot of this area is sort of weakening and drying up, but sort of this northern section coming out of southern Wisconsin does potentially hold together, and this is what we have to be worried about this afternoon. Not so much that it's going to produce bad weather. We might get some rain out of this if it does hold together, but more importantly, it's a question of what will happen to the wind field, particularly as the showers move off the lakeshore north of Chicago this afternoon. So keep an eye out there. We had thought this area was going to dissipate, but it's looking like it may have a chance of holding together and bringing a little bit of rain to us later this afternoon. Looking at the wind field forecast for today, we've got basically a southerly gradient flow between that departing high pressure and the low pressure approaching from the west and northwest. And that's actually produced some 9 to 12 knot southerly winds on the lakeshore this morning. That is expected to continue through mid-morning. However, there will be a little bit of a decrease. We will start to get a thermal component as the land warms up. It'll start to draw the air more in toward the coast. So we'll see the winds ease slightly late morning. Just a couple of knots will come down. And then back around more into the southeast, and then winds will start to pick up once again as we go into the midday and early afternoon period. So here we are actually at 1 o'clock Friday or today, and so our coast is right in through here, and we can see the two race areas with the circles, and the wind is shifted around now into the southeast and east-southeast and increased. So we're starting to get up into the low teens at this point into early afternoon. And so we could get some strengthening lake breezes going during the early afternoon hours. And looks to be a little bit stronger over the northern course area, a little bit lighter over the southern course area. Probably a difference of maybe 1 to 3 knots maximum between the two course areas. But it looks like a very fair and decent sailing breeze for this afternoon. Now as we go into the afternoon, here's where our question marks start to develop, and it really depends on whether or not those showers are able to hold together. If they are, what we'll see is as the showers move off the shore up to the north of Chicago, is that will kill the lake breeze up in this area. And on this plot here, you can see the lighter winds backing off the shore. And that light wind area will kind of expand down later this afternoon and come into the course areas. If we're lucky, it'll hold off until after racing is over. But as it does start to ease, it looks like the wind will trend to the left. And it'll ease up in the north course first, hold a little bit longer in the south course before that easing trend arrives. If we do not get the showers moving off the shore, then the lake breeze should hold a little bit better. It'll also be a little bit more right shifted, more east-southeast, and probably in the low to mid-teens. So really need to keep an eye up there to the northwest and watch for any clouds coming down from the northwest that may have some showers with them. So here's a summary of the forecast for this morning. We have a south wind about 5 to 10 knots along the lakefront. Actually is puffed up a little bit, 9 to 10. Or 9 to 12, and later this morning that wind will start to ease a little bit and back to the south-southeast. By midday we'll have southeast wind, and it'll start building again back up to 8 to 12 knots, perhaps a little bit more in the midday period. And then, as I said, in this later afternoon, the southeast will tend more left toward the east-southeast and possibly east. It'll increase to about 10 to 14, perhaps even seeing some hits of 15 at times. And then if the showers move off up to the north and come off the lakeshore, then we should see that breeze back further left and start to decrease. That would be sort of after 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, I believe. So that's a look at the weather forecast for today. Going quickly through tomorrow, we'll have a little bit of a low pressure, the remains of that low pressure moving off the coast to the east, or moving off Lake Michigan to the east. And that will first we'll have southwest winds as that system is moving out to the east initially. And then once it moves off to the east, we'll start to get a little bit of a northerly flow. Now, some of the models are actually building this northerly quite a bit stronger. This shows it more sort of in the 4 to 8 knot range. I do have some models showing it coming in closer to 10 to 15, so we could, if we're lucky, have a little bit stronger breeze, but it looks like a variable morning tomorrow while the wind is going through this transition, and it'll be more an afternoon sailing breeze with it kicking in from the northeast and east up into the low and potentially mid-teens, and that's what we're showing in the forecast here. And then for Sundays, it looks like probably our wettest potential day, but also our windiest as that stronger low pressure moves in from the west, and we'll get sort of a south breeze that backs into the southeast and picks up perhaps into the 15 to 20 knot range, and then late in the day starts to veer to the right, but all that is likely to be rain contaminated at times. That's it for now. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. Make sure you check that. Good luck today.